Hello and welcome to the last word on Spurs. I'm Richard Cracknell, and just like Tottenham this evening, the second string in for Ricky Sacks this evening, and not quite doing as good a job. If ever a metaphor for this evening, it's probably this evening's show as well. But look, we always try and bring you a bit of content, a bit of therapy, the highs and lows of Tottenham. And look, joining us this evening, not so much of a crazy train this evening, maybe, probably derailed a little bit after that. We talked about potholes. You get potholes on the railways. Let me bring in the one and only Mr. Lee McQueen. Lee, how are you doing?
Oh, mate, I mean, it's just such a letdown, isn't it? It was just like Conte ball all over again. 9 changes. So many people in the comments. Good evening, everybody, by the way, viewers and listeners. But I mean, talk about back down to earth. I mean, I'm getting my WhatsApp is going absolutely mental from all the rival fans right now. Another chance, and we've absolutely blown it. And we didn't have to, crackers. That's the thing, mate. We didn't have to blow it, and we did. All because what? We wanted, I don't know, mate. We'll get into it, I'm sure.
Well, it must be that game on Thursday night that we've got in Europe that caused so many changes, wasn't it? But anyway, I digress. Also joining us this evening, fresh back from a holiday. I bet you're glad you rushed back now, aren't you? Mr. Patrick Tyrant. Patrick, evening. I won't say good evening, but evening to you. And yeah, I bet you're delighted to be on, aren't you? Ricky's done well, isn't he? By the way, where's Ricky?
The thing is, I was so excited to be back because I was on holiday in Morocco for a week, and it was amazing. 46 degrees, 41 degrees, 36 on a cold day. It was great, and I rushed back. I was excited for the game. I thought, yeah, I want to see Lascelles. I want to see some of the other guys come in and get a full 90 minutes under the belt. And oh my God, what a shambles, what a shit show. I'm annoyed at myself for rushing back. I'm annoyed at myself for thinking that the second string, the same guys that keep letting us down, let us down again. Yeah, there's a lot to get into. I don't know where to start. I'm fuming, man, to be honest. Second round. We're out in the second round. That is diabolical. Like we didn't even qualify for Europe, hence why we started a round earlier, and we're still out.
But Patrick, isn't Tottenham just like fast food? Like you love a takeaway burger or a bit of chicken. I won't mention any brands because they might sponsor us one day. But you have it and you go, oh, that was a disappointment. And then like you get a few weeks down the line and you're walking past one and you go, oh yeah, I think I'll have one of them. That would be good. And no, lets you down again. Honestly, isn't it? It is anyway.
Crazy.
I digress. Yes, Mike on the comments there. We need some therapy. We do. Look, we got a doctor in the house because he's always quite the voice of reason. He'll always give you a little bit of a different view. No, he's shaking his head. No, terminal. It's terminal, I'm afraid. Welcome, everybody. Mr. Jason McGovern, one of our own. Evening, Jace.
Evening, mate. How's you?
Yeah, well, Tottenham.
I've had better days.
Isn't it
why 9 changes? Just explain to me why 9 changes.
Exactly.
Exactly. Okay, you want to give a few a chance, so you start with either Son or Kulusevski. You start with Bissouma or Maddison. You definitely don't change the centre-back pairing. If you're going to change the goalkeeper, it just makes no sense whatsoever. And we've got a new leadership group of Maddison, Romero, and Son, and not one of the 3 is on the pitch.
Very telling. Very telling.
We are the very first Premier League team to be knocked out, and this was the one competition we thought we could have a go at, and we're out of it, and we're still in August.
Spot on.
Utterly pathetic.
Patrick, honestly, it was. But Patrick, I'll come to you first. Now, we saw this last season under Conte at Sheffield United away, and huge changes, wholesale changes to the team there. And we read some comments about, I want to win every game, and even if it's in a car park, I want to win every game. And then tonight we see 9 changes. So I don't know. I'll throw it out to all you boys, actually, everybody, and even in the comments as well. And thank you for joining us again this evening for a bit of a difficult show to listen to. Do you think this is actually club-led, that we make these changes to make sure that we've got a focus on the league? Or do you think this is solely down to the management team of the club that says, no, second round, we've got to try and get a balance and put a team out that we think we can, that can win the game, but isn't obviously the 11 that we saw on Saturday?
I mean, sorry.
Oh, who are you going to, Crackers?
Patrick first, sorry.
Okay. Cool.
Sorry, mate. I think it's on edge. I don't think Levy tells him you've got to play all the others. It cup ties them before you're trying to get rid of them. So what's the point? So, I mean, we don't play Burnley for 4 or 5 days. This momentum's with us. We've got momentum going, but we just let the momentum hit the buffers, don't we? And now, instead of having that positive start, now we've got no midweek football to worry about till January, and when we make 10 changes for the 3rd round of the FA Cup. What's the point? What is the point of going? We had Fulham away. We didn't have Bolton at home or Rotherham at home. Exactly. Joke. Absolute joke.
What is the point in making 9 changes in a team that is starved of trophies? To answer your question, I cannot believe that Ange Postecoglou, everything that he's come in and done in this since he's joined our football club, and he's sweeping us up with his big arms, and we're loving him. I cannot believe that he has made 9 changes after specifically coming out in that statement and saying, "I want to win. I don't care if it's in a car park," like you said. I cannot believe it. To a man in that first at least 20 minutes when they up until they scored, every single player on that pitch was toilet. Absolute toilet. It wasn't Ange ball. It was Conte ball. I was watching it with my own eyeballs thinking, hang on a minute, have we gone back in time here? I thought we had our Tottenham back. As you said, Patrick, maybe we have. Maybe this is the one. I just cannot believe that we've come into this season with all of the momentum and everything that we've got, exactly what you just said, Jace, and we've come into the first game in a second round, which we haven't played since 2009 or something ridiculous, by the way, because of European football, and we've made 9 changes. The common theme with Tottenham is one thing you'll know with Tottenham, regardless of who the manager is that in the modern era, we can't win cup competitions. We can't do it. Like, it's just a thing. And what riled me the most, if you can't tell I'm wild, right? But what riled me the most is every one of them players that started were kind of the players that was letting us down before. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, why would you do that? Like, you got Micky van der Ven, who, by the way, look, that is his second own goal. I know we said on the group, right? It's his second own goal since the start. I don't think you could do much about it or whatever. I actually think he was one of our better players tonight.
Yeah.
22, never played for us in his life, and he's starting 2 days or 3 days after our Bournemouth game. And some of the other guys that have been with us for a long time, they're not starting. But this 22-year-old is. What does that say about maybe the rest of the squad, or indeed, of course, Micky van der Ven himself? I mean, I would say that he was the positive. But look, going over to you, Patrick, I don't know what you think, but I can't believe it is an Ange Postecoglou thing. But equally, like Jace, I can't believe the board is telling him he has to change it. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
sure.
I think this one is on, as much as we all love Big Ange and as much as he's won me over and won over many Tottenham fans' hearts, this one is on him. And I want to get this out. I'm not being negative. I'm just being honest and truthful and dissecting the game and talking about what we see. He's the one that picked this lineup, and ultimately he got it wrong. Like Crackers and like Jason and like Lee have said, too many changes. It didn't need to happen. To be fair, the only player I wanted to see in was Lo Celso. That's the only guy that I wanted to see in, and he could have just pretty much kept the same team.
And he was gone on.
Exactly. And the thing is, Lo Celso is a weird one because he's looked so good in pre-season. He's got so much quality. He looked so good in the Argentina shirt. He looked so good anytime he doesn't play for Tottenham. He looked bright in pre-season, so I really wanted to see him chomping at the bit. And he had his chance today, and he just looked disinterested and like he didn't want to be there. And I know it's kind of not fair because when you're playing with the C teamers and the D teamers, sometimes the quality of, but ultimately, if you're a man and you're good enough, you will shine and you will do what you need to do. So I'm really disappointed. I think Ange got it wrong. Ultimately, he's the manager. He's the one that picks the lineup. And today, like, I just don't understand it. Why is Davinson Sanchez starting? These games are bigger than probably the Premier League games right now because they're knockout games. They're do or die. If you lose, you're out. And we lost today and we're out. It's August, for fuck's sake, and we're out of the cup. It's shambolic, man. We're a team that starved the silverware, a massive team. We should be taking this seriously. Why are you making so many changes? You know, you keep 𝐂𝐤𝐧𝐭𝐞𝐬𝐃 on, you keep Son on, you keep Maddison on. You know, like if I look at the results last year, Fulham are a decent team. I mean, they just drew 2-2 at Arsenal, and we beat them twice narrowly. We beat them 2-1 at home, and I think we beat them 1-0 away. So it's not like we blew them out of the water when we played them. They're a good team, good manager. They're solid. They're defensively sound, and they got, you know, some decent players in that team. It was never going to, when I looked at the fixtures, when I watched the draw live, I was like, we've actually got one of the toughest fixtures or one of the toughest draws, and yet we make 10 changes. Every time we made wholesale changes, no matter who's against, Sheffield United, Rotherham, this team, that we lose. So why did Big Ange not do his homework and see that these guys have let us down time and time again, and he still started them? Ben Davies, people have been telling me I'm too harsh on him. Every time he's come in this year, he's looked good. He's crap. Every time he needs to do something for us, he doesn't do it. I mean, it's just it's so frustrating. I'm like a broken record. It
is a real tough one to take. But look, you have to kind of think to yourself, we've now got 3 or 4 days until the window shuts. We've scratched the thin veneer of that first team that has looked decent so far. So, Lee, we really, really do need some more options coming in, don't we, into this team in this last few days before the window shuts? Because for me, that midfield is what we could be looking at in January when the AFCON comes around as well. And it's a bit of a frightening look into Pandora's box, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree, and I think that, and I think Jace, you nailed it as well, right at the beginning when you said you don't make all of them changes, you make 1 or 2. So keep Bissouma in, take out Sarr and Maddison, or keep Maddison in and take out. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't take out all 3 of them. You know what we had if you think about what we had, regardless of pre-season and Ange, whatever, we had a guy that was playing in midfield that has got that historically has had an attitude problem, that doesn't really ever want to be here, that has been out on loan, and he's had his first start since I think it's January 2022 for the football club, right? That's that's the first one. The second thing is we've had stories coming out today about Manchester United with 𝐁𝐁𝐲𝐿, and the fact that he wants to go, and the fact that he's not in the leadership group, and the fact that, you know, Atletico Madrid, he clearly wants out, or, you know, something's going to happen there maybe in the next few days. He starts, and then Skip also starts, which we know, let's be fair, Skip's a decent player, he's an all right player, he's a good player, but when he's alongside somebody like a Bissouma, he's all right. When he's alongside a 𝐁𝐁𝐲𝐿, he's not. And we saw that time and time again last season. So what we've actually done is, instead of going to the lads, do you know what, sit this one out, boys, you'll get an opportunity, Skip in that midfield with Bissouma and Maddison in a Premier League game, I don't know, say against Everton, because they're bottom or whatever, he might be well all right, and they get his game time there. But today, to have all 3 of them getting their game time, crackers, I just thought was too much. And I think that, you know, the veneer, as you said, that we've scratched, and now ultimately 3 days left in the window, we've left it. Well, we do love leaving it late, don't we? You know, Tottenham, the board, you know, the director of football, is he there? Is he not there? You know, Paratici in the consultancy role. You know, Scott Money ain't even started. You know, so the reality is that we have heard that it is Daniel Levy and some of the other board members that are doing the transfers or getting them out. They've got 3.5 days to get out. I posted it earlier. What is it? Lloris, Spence. I think Spence might have gone now. You know, you've got Reguilon, you got 𝐂𝐤𝐿𝐵 potentially, you know, you've got Lo Celso now is probably on the list. Like Patrick said, I was always skeptical of Lo Celso because of the way he's been in the past. But, you know, fair enough. Maybe he's turned a corner, but he was abysmal. Solomon today, he was absolutely invisible. Like he didn't do anything until about a minute before he come off. You know, 1,600, 1,700 of you watching live. So thank you so much. All the comments, I'm going to try and get through. And I'll shut up now. I'll give that back over to you. I'll get through some of the comments. But it's just so frustrating in it, team. So frustrating.
Very much so.
Jace, as well, you know, when you can now make 5 substitutions, if you pick 5 of your first team, 5 of the 10, and you go behind, you have a chance to get your whole first team back on the pitch with the 5 subs. Or if it's going well and you're 2-0 up, you can take 3 more of them off. And then you'd have gone into it and then chasing the game down to with a goal down. You could have picked pretty much then you'd have had your entire first team 11 on. Could have brought Udogie on then. Romero could be on. They could all be on the pitch if you'd have started with 5. And then you go into penalties with proper penalty takers. But, you know, I mean, even if, I don't know who was down to take the 5th one. Who would have taken it? Sarr, Højbjerg, Emerson Royal, what?
Yeah.
Dane Scarlett.
You know, how the hell was Davinson Sanchez even taking a penalty?
What's Davinson Sanchez taking a penalty? What is happening?
I shouldn't laugh. But that is, that sums us up. I don't know who the hell allowed him to be further up. Who co-signed that? Because how do you not know that he's not good enough to take penalties? And that's no disrespect. Defenders typically aren't good at penalty takers anyway. And let's be real, he's not exactly a techie kind of player, is he? You're not seeing him smash goals in bottom bins, top bins.
He might have taken one for Colombia in a shootout they had against Argentina and scored, I think.
So it's probably Forster. Fiona said there, and he was probably next to take the penalty. He was like, hang on, I can't take the penalty.
But, you know, this is. I make that point again. We go into a game where we're trying to win a trophy, and we've named a new leadership group of 3 players, and not one of them starts the game.
No.
And then you've had to make Ben Davies captain. You've had to make Ben Davies captain because of it.
Ben Davies captain. That says it all, man. I'm sorry. The only positive for me is that this shows that the second string isn't as good as we thought it was. We're nowhere near. I think the quality of the first team is very good. I think we can beat anyone and give anyone a game. But it just shows. I mean, this is what we all knew anyway. But even under a new manager that plays attacking football, this second string is not good enough, and wholesale changes need to be made. I'm still struggling to understand why we haven't moved for a striker or spent any of the Harry Kane money. I'm still struggling to understand why we still got players like Ben Davies and Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez still in the squad. And today shows you that we're not good enough with the second team, half a second team, whatever you want to call it. We struggled to create chances against Fulham. Let's be honest. We weren't good. We had a lot of the ball, but it was nothing direct. It was nothing penetrative. You know, we could have played till next week and probably not scored another goal. It was awful. So
it's a very, very flat-footed performance. And I think one of the weirdest choices for me, and I don't know about you chaps, I'll come to you, Lee, Forster in goal for tonight. Now, I know that you want to maybe give your second keeper some minutes, etc. I get that, especially if you've got 2 keepers that may be vying for the position. But Forster's, you know, a man of an age now. He's had a long career. And I don't understand why Vicario isn't chosen in goal tonight, even if you bring him on at the end for the penalties. I mean, we've seen it before in competitions where a keeper comes on for the penalties and, you know, he just looks so flat-footed with those pens. I know that the odds are that the taker will normally put one away, but, you know, this is something coming up in the comments as well. Forster just looked a mile off of everything in that penalty shootout, didn't he? So why did we not even make that change or even start with Vicario? He's not putting in the kilometres, is he?
No, for sure. And actually, it was so obvious in the first, the whole game really, but the first 20 minutes, first 10 minutes, that the distribution of Vicario is actually very, very good. the way that Ange wants to play, I felt that we were 10 yards, maybe even 15 yards deeper than what we've played in the first 3 games in the Premier League. I didn't feel that the team that was put out there today trusted. I think that Forster was on his line, like in his 6-yard area, rather than commanding his 18-yard box, whereas Vicario will come and do that sweeping thing. And it made everybody kind of come backwards. And the amount of backward and sideways passes through midfield, through 𝐅𝐸𝐵 and Skip. I've got to be honest with you, the first 15 minutes, I didn't even notice Oliver Skip was playing. Like, I'm not going to mince my words. This is how I saw it. I was like, really? Oh, right, okay. He's done absolutely nothing. That dynamism that you get from a Papa Matar or a Bissouma playing through the lines. To be fair to 𝐅𝐸𝐵, he did start playing forward passes in the second half and playing through more of the lines. But in that first half in particular, they couldn't do anything. And I think that started with Forster, Crackers, to your point. He so many people in the comments have said the same thing. He looked disinterested, didn't look like he wanted to be there. I'm baffled. I mean, I can't say I'm lost for words because I never am, right? But I'm absolutely baffled that we have not played Vicario when, like you said, yes, okay, it's a quick turnaround, but so what for goalkeeper? Do you know what I mean? He played Micky van der Ven. He played Micky van der Ven in all 4 games. Van der Ven's played all 4 games, for crying out loud. Do you know what I mean? He had a quick turnaround. Your goalkeeper must be able to. And again, to give him more confidence, to be able to push up, to give him another 10, 15 yards. It is very, very obvious to me that the goalkeeper that we've bought, look, this is a positive, by the way, the goalkeeper that we've bought is excellent for the way we want to play. And the backup goalkeepers that we have are definitely not. And, you know, we not, maybe we didn't laugh, but we did all wonder why is Arsenal buying Raya as a backup goalkeeper to Ramsdale or whatever. But maybe that's why. Maybe now you need 2. We don't know. We only need, as Jay said, we don't play a midweek football match now. We began to cold weather training, a warm weather training in Dubai. You watch the story come out in November. We began international break, whatever. We won't have a game for about 4 months. We may as well go to Dubai.
poor old Patrick, head in his hands. He's not even got his toothbrush out of his case. But Patrick, I'll come round and ask everyone, but I'll start with you. In some ways, does this actually serve as a little bit of a reality check? Because as much as I was very skeptical of Ange to start with, then I absolutely fell all in love with him because I'm a hopeless romantic. Maybe I shouldn't, but I am. I'm a football fan. But I think tonight may have served just as a little bit of a reality check of where we are versus where he's given us a perception of where we are almost. It's all very lovely. Robbie Williams singing his song all across TikTok or, whichever social media site. But, that doesn't save you penalties or score you penalties, does it? Or play up front. So if anything, does this act as a really good barometer of where we actually are still?
Yeah, and like I said earlier, I think the only silver lining for us is if we actually actively go all out in the transfer market now. Højbjerg, as much as some people, he divides opinions. Some people like him, some people don't. I didn't mind him, but when I saw how he plays when he come on or subbed on in these last few games, he passes backwards, he passes sideways. He's not dynamic. He doesn't cut the lines. He doesn't move the ball forward. He doesn't progress the ball forward. He's not good enough to play in the system. Started today, did absolutely nothing. Skip, again, people say I'm a bit harsh, but I don't think he's good enough. I know I like him. I know everyone likes him. He's a good young lad and come through the system and all of that. But if we're being real, he's nowhere near the level of Pat Matar. He's nowhere near Bissouma. I know he's younger than Bissouma, but he's not at the level we need personally. And it just goes to show the Ben Davies who can come in and have a good cameo, even Davinson Sanchez. But when these guys are asked to really put in a shift and start a game, it's different when you're coming on in the last 15 minutes when the energy's up, the crowd is up, you're coming in on the back of a good performance. But when you've actually got to set the mold and set the standard, it's a completely different kettle of fish. And we saw that today. These guys were flat. They lacked ideas. They lacked creativity. And it does fall on Ange. I've seen a few of the comments saying Ange out. That's a bit too far. I really like Ange. I think he's going to make mistakes, of course. It's a new team. It is a rebuild. You know, people won't like us saying that, but it is. We've got a whole new starting 11 essentially. But he made a big mistake today, and he's got to learn as well. Maybe he thought higher with the players than he should have. Maybe he thought that he had something different that the other managers didn't, and he could unlock a bit more out of your Sanchez's and your Ben Davies and even Lo Celso, who I'm really disappointed in, because I've been, as you guys know, I've been backing Lo Celso. I've put my neck on the line for this kid, and yet again, when push comes to shove, the guy's fucking shit. So I'm upset, man. I'm upset. I really thought we could have a good crack at the League Cup. I didn't think, I'm not deluded to say we'd go out and win it, because there's some good teams there, but I expected better than this. To go out to Fulham.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Fulham. Fulham are a decent team, but it's a favourable fixture when you look at Fulham and look at Tottenham. Let's be real. It's a team we should be putting away. So, it's a reality check though, Crackers. Going back to your point, it really is. And Daniel Levy needs to pull his finger out and spend some of the money. Like, we've got money. Spend some of the King money. Spend some of the other money. Actually invest in the squad. We still need another striker. We still need another centre back. Because Davinson Sanchez, if we're being real, we're only 1 or 2 injuries away from a crisis. Because if we lose Micky van der Ven or Romero, or we lose essentially Son down the middle, we're fucked. So we actually need some good quality players, because the backups are okay if they're playing alongside quality. But when they're having to lead the line and do what they're meant to do, they're not good enough.
No, absolutely. Jace, for you, in some respects, to try and take and scrape some positive from this, which are very few and far between, but a good reality check for all of us. I mean, I know there's, and I get there's a lot of anger in the comments tonight, and what we've done with the team and putting out 9 changes, but sometimes they are their choice changes, aren't they? We could be faced with a few changes further down the line this season through injury and suspension. So maybe it's a good chance to take a look at what's underneath and realise this isn't good enough.
Well, it's definitely not good enough, but I'm not so sure it's a reality check, because I think we all knew it. We all knew it. And certainly when the one slight defence I'll give those players is, and it's always the same, when you chuck 9 in together with no rhythm and no confidence and no belief, then don't be surprised if you have a performance that has no confidence, no belief and no rhythm to it. Bring in, let's say Manor Solomon starts tonight, but he's got Maddison and he's got Bissouma and he's got Son the other side of him. It's a lot easier for him to integrate into a team rather than looking around knowing he's got Perisic around him and, he's got Skip and people like that in the side. So, I always say that. I mean, if Davinson Sanchez comes in at centre-half, but he's got Bissouma and Maddison and Sarr in front of him and he's not so exposed, but he ends up getting twisted like spaghetti for the goal because totally exposed. And that's the only defence I'll give them, that never make that many changes and bring in players that are just, they're not quite rusty because it's not that far into the season, but you've got to come in with some belief and have players with some kind of relationship on the pitch. And that midfield knows it's not wanted. It knows it's the B team. It knows it's, 1 or 2 of them might well not be here on Friday night. And that performance showed absolutely everything of it. So the one miniature positive tonight wasn't his performance, because his performance was woeful, but at least Richarlison got a goal. But for me, I think his confidence isn't going to change until it's a meaningful goal. He needs, he needed the winner against Man United or something. That's the type of goal that he really needs. And so, he's got his second goal for Tottenham, but like his first one was worth nothing at Anfield. This one's worth nothing because we've gone out the cup, and he's not even as if he took the winning penalty or something to try and give him a boost, is it? So,
exactly.
That miniature positive of him scoring, but even his performance was woeful.
Yeah, I did a comment up on the screen at the moment. The third kit is cursed. It's
cursed, Willie. It's like that Man United one back in the day. Do you remember?
And do you know what? I was talking about that with my son today. They got walloped against Southampton, didn't they? 7-0, 7-1, 6-0, and they said that they couldn't see each other in there. And do you know what? Tonight, that kit, and I do like it as a standalone kit. I know we're going a little bit off stream here, and people are, what's this got to do with the price of bananas? The grey Man U kit. Thank you, Mr. M, on comment on the screen there. But I could not really see any names or numbers on the backs of kits. Listen, it's absolutely no excuse as to what happened this evening, but it's I like the colour, but it's a very, very weird third kit. And now I'm beginning to think I don't really want to see that again this season because it's just got huge Fulham vibes. Hazy taupe. That sounds more like an IPA, doesn't it? Than a kit, doesn't it?
I'll be honest with you.
Hello, landlord. Can I have a pint of hazy taupe, please? Man, you try and keep some perspective on this, don't you?
But most of those players don't know what kit we're playing in, whatever.
No.
If Fulham had been wearing hazy taupe, we'd have found them in perfectly good in hazy taupe, wouldn't we? You know.
Don't. Who'd be a Spurs fan? Listen, we're going to take our first break of the show. We're not going to keep you here forever this evening. I think Jason's got the underwater soot juggling from Azerbaijan to watch a little bit later on Eurosport. So I think we're going to do a flat hour. Shit quiz you've had as well, by the way. That's gone. No one's in the mood for that. But look, we're delighted that NordVPN are getting behind the show, and you can grab an exclusive discount from NordVPN plan if you go to nordvpn.com/LWOS, last word on Spurs, and you'll receive 4 extra months for free. And there's no risk with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Okay, so if you pop off there, go and get your VPN all sorted out. Good stuff. Patrick's got his VPN on his phone. Is he catching? Catch him taking a photo? Look, put it back up. Patrick's trying to get. Look, Patrick's taking photos of the NordVPN address. He's after his VPN.
I was going to say, you won't need NordVPN because we won't be streaming any games for months because we're not in Europe.
I missed the trick. I needed it for tonight's game. I was scrambling because I assumed, because funny enough, this is a bit random, but it will make sense when you hear me out. In Morocco, they showed every single game. Every single game was televised. And then I came back, and then as you guys saw, I hit up the group chat saying, lads, what channel's our game on? You lot was like, it's not. So I was like, oh man. So I was scrambling trying to find a link in the stream, and I found it. But if I had Nord, I would have obviously been a bit more settled. But we shouldn't have to do that. I don't understand how England, home of the Premier League, we can't get the televised games. It's crazy.
Yeah, do you know what? Maybe just to try and even take a little bit of relief off of that game, because there really wasn't that much to talk about during the whole lot, to be honest. Patrick makes a good point, Lee, doesn't he? I mean, look, I can't really see that having legal streams would absolutely kill the game. There would still be 6,000 Spurs there tonight, wouldn't there? People love to go football, and there really does need to be some serious grown-up conversation around being able to watch games like tonight. I can get maybe some Premier League games, etc., but with games like tonight, you do want the chance to be able to watch it, even if that is giving the club, Fulham or Tottenham, or a provider some money to be able to watch it. Surely.
Yeah, I think, to be fair, that's where Nord does help, because it actually enables you to watch via a different IP address, doesn't it? To be fair, so you can actually, but you still got to be able to subscribe to them other streams. I think they are going to start cracking down on illegal streams and all that sort of stuff as well. But the reality is that over 1,800 of you watching live, and if we hadn't been able to watch the game tonight, what would we be talking about? Well, we might be talking about NordVPN, to be fair. At least we'd be in a better mood.
Yeah, exactly that. So, Lee, do you want to stick up the graphic for that starting team?
Seamless, mate. Seamless. Look at this.
Look at that. Straight up. Ricky Who, by the way, So, well, there's Van der Ven, the Victorian ghost, as I always call him. No Porro with his mullet this evening. But, Jace, I'll come to you. Players from that starting 11, who would you say you really would not be bothered if you just don't see again, or just see on absolutely emergency occasions? Because I don't know, as we've already discussed, 9 changes there, 9 of them, and that team just doesn't look anywhere near a starting 11, does it?
No. If I look at that team, there's 10 that it wouldn't bother me if I never saw again. That's what it is.
Yeah,
that's not having a go at Emerson Royal, but he's, you know, he might have improved. But I mean, we're not exactly talking about prime Carl Walker or prime Chrissy Houghton or someone like that, is he? Richarlison up front, you know. And even then, you know, if you look at Micky van der Ven, it is exciting to watch because he's new, but he's only been here for 4 games. But he's the only one of those 11 that I hope stays there. The rest of them, I mean, Solomon, well, okay, he'll come in and have the odd game, but I still sooner see Brennan Johnson than Solomon in the team. So, you know, when I look at that, it's not a lot. Van der Ven's in last year's kit, so I don't know where our graphics expert is, but he never wore last year. That's my little spot from that team. How the hell is Micky van der Ven in last year's kit?
Great Photoshop.
That's because he's a Victorian ghost. Look, he's nearly see-through on that graphic. It really annoys me badly. So he's got Victorian clothing on. He's got clothing on from yesteryear, hasn't he? That's,
but I mean, you know, seriously, when I look at that, and it's, you know, I never wanted to see Lo Celso in a Spurs shirt again from 2 years ago, and you know, yeah, he had a great pre-season because he came on against Lion City Sailors. I mean, Jesus Christ. You know, what standards have we dropped to in that if that's what we judge him? And yeah, he got a goal against the European Cup, the massive European Cup winners at West Ham or something. But you know, let's be honest, he's never really shown it in a Spurs shirt consistently, has he? And as you said, he looked completely disinterested tonight. It's your chance to go and do something. This is your one chance because you probably know you're not playing at the weekend, and you just turn in a performance like that.
I just think
poor, really
just
poor.
interacting there if I can. I just think that, you know, Perisic I thought was woeful tonight, but then he put in a cross to get the goal. To be fair, you know, so in pockets, I thought Van der Ven was good, even though he scored no goal. I thought Royale, I'd still keep him for sure. But it's just when you look at that midfield, there was nothing progressive in that midfield at all. Lo Celso strolled around like he was, you know, having a day off. Skip was industrious, but didn't really do anything. There was nothing there. You know, gave away a couple of fouls. Højbjerg, as I say, 70 minutes worth of Højbjerg was just backwards, sideways. And I'm a Højbjerg fan normally. Like I've got a bit of a man crush on Højbjerg. So you know, when I'm saying that, I'm saying what I saw tonight. I'm telling it how it is. I don't think that that midfield three, as you look at it on your screen for the viewers and obviously the people on audio when you're listening to this back, we're looking at that midfield three. You've got Skip, Lo Celso, and Højbjerg, and it just doesn't. You know, maybe if we were playing like a League One side today, like I don't want to be disrespectful, just calling it how it is. But Fulham just got a point of Arsenal, who are like the best team in the world for the last, 5 minutes. So do you know what I mean? It's true, though, isn't it? At the end of the day, it's like he's going to learn very quickly that he can't. Well, he ain't got a choice now. He ain't got a choice now, has he? Because we've got one cup competition left. I'm annoyed. I'm angry at Big Ange tonight. Big Ange, I'm angry at you, man, because you said that you love winning. You said that you wanted to go out and win, and yet you put that on the pitch. And in fairness, you say Perisic swung a good ball over, but if anyone hasn't watched tonight's game, it came when Fulham were down to 10 men because the bloke that was up against him had run off down the tunnel to change his boot. Yeah, and in that split second, Perisic had no one around him, so he suddenly looked up and hit across. And we scored from it. And the bloke came running back onto the pitch to see us celebrating. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, if he hadn't have gone down the tunnel, we wouldn't have scored the goal either.
Exactly. Come to you, Patrick, just before we bring you Angie's post-match comments, which make quite interesting reading. Those players tonight that let the club down. Let's be honest. Is that more? Do you think them as individuals, or do you think that's maybe because there was too many changes? Do you think there's some players in that 11 that if they are the change that's just one or two changes in an 11 would do okay, or you get where I'm coming from, or do you think it's actually the system and too many changes, or are those players, every one of them, nearly to a man, just not good enough?
No, I think Crackers, you're asking the question, but you already know the answer. I think it's too many changes all at once. I think Lee said it and Jason said it. If you sprinkle the odd player with the set 11, then you will get much better performances. Like when Manor Solomon comes on in the last 15 and he's got Kulu, Son and Maddison in behind him, he looks mustard because he's a decent player, but he's got quality around him. When you make that many changes, like even Davinson Sanchez has looked good when he's played as alongside Romero, Micky van der Ven, Vicario behind him. But when you make that many changes, there's no cohesion. A lot of players kind of know their second string now. I don't know. It's a weird one because for me, if I'm someone like Lo Celso, me personally, if I was in Lo Celso's shoes right now, I would ball out. I'd be wanting the ball. I'd be doing what Basuma does, showing for the ball, dropping the shoulder, moving it, that trying to show why I deserve to start. Because there was
no one did that, Pat.
Yeah, that's it. No one actually, no one
weird.
showed me today that they've got the quality, the cojones, the techers, the desire, the skill, the temperament to start on the weekend. Other than Van der Ven, I thought he's been very unlucky with these own goals because he's a good player and he's looked good. Very unlucky, but it's 2 own goals in like 4 games, which is a mad stat. But yeah, hopefully that changes. Emerson Royal was okay. That's it, really. Richarlison scored, but let's be honest, he wasn't good. I don't know, man. It's just like, but yeah, Crackers, definitely too many changes.
How many times, Pat, sorry, just interrupt you, just quickly. How many times have we sat on this very show and talked about the exact same thing?
Literally,
I remember sitting on the show after Mura and like and places like that when we're playing in the Checker Trophy, as Jace calls it, with dog poo on the pitches and whatever.
Well, at least Fulham's manager wasn't in prison tonight.
Well, exactly.
That's some progress, isn't it?
Even he weren't on the bloody pitch, was he?
I know, and you couldn't make it up. I mean, didn't we go when we was there in the stands, weren't we? Crackers, Sheffield United, wasn't he also banned as well? That manager was banned, wasn't he? He weren't even on the side. He weren't even inside the pitch. You couldn't make stuff up. But we've done it, and this is the thing why I'm not angry actually. I'm fed up. I'm fed up because the feel-good factor is just literally the tap has just been turned on. All of it's just come out, and now we're back to square one again. It's just madness, and I just feel that it could have been so different. Like even if we'd have won on penalties and gone through, we'd have still been having the same conversations because the performance was that shocking. We haven't seen Andrew's post-match press conference or some of his comments, of course, yet because we've come live straight onto the show.
Hold on.
Breaking news here,
you might go into those, but go on, finish off, Lee, and then I'll bring you those comments.
That's what I was going to say. It's just why it's just so frustrating. As you said, Pat, Lo Celso's opportunity to go, I'm like another Maddison. You can count on me. Have a look at this. Dropping his shoulder, taking the ball and running. He didn't even run. He didn't even track back. Like, I'm not making this up, man. He did not even track back. Absolute mental.
Nice. It's crazy. Right. So to bring you Angie's post-match comments and make of this what you will. Ange Postecoglou on making 9 changes versus Fulham. He said, how am I going to find out my players? We need to give the players the opportunity to contribute. And then he went on to talk about transfers. We need to trim the squad and get it to a more manageable state and then see what's available for us to strengthen the squad in a couple of areas. Ange Postecoglou on the defeat. We weren't at our fluent best, particularly early on, and not surprising given the changes I made. Many different ways you grow as a team, and we have showed real character to hang in. Second half, we had our moments to win it, and we lose on penalties, so you have to wear it. So he is, for me, He's literally said, I've put that team out to show you all what needs to be done. And and we're out the cup, and this is where we are as a squad. That's what it says to me. Now I'll leave it down. I'll come to you first, Jason.
I was going to say,
is that what he's saying, do you think now?
He's also said, in a team function, when there isn't familiarity, there's not going to be the fluency. That's understandable. So if you know it's not going to be there, and you know that you're picking players that you're looking to trim, and you know that we won't be fluent best early on, and that's not surprising, then why the hell do you make those changes? I mean,
correct.
It's like, I'm going to dig myself a hole 6 feet deep. I'm going to jump in it and then find, oh, blimey, it's a deep hole. I can't get out of it.
Coming back to what you said, Crackers,
bizarre.
The question that you first asked, because their comments don't make sense. That what you're saying, it's just totally bizarre. I totally agree with you. Come back to what you said, Crackers, before. Is it somebody else picking the team here? No. I mean, why is he done it?
When he says, I get the thing that he says, how do I find out about them if I don't give them an opportunity? So Burnley next week. So play Solomon instead of 𝐂𝐻𝐿.
Exactly.
Maybe play Skip instead of Bissouma. That's it. Two changes.
Yeah.
And then the following week, when it's home to Sheffield United, play Lo Celso instead of Maddison, and play, I don't know, Davis instead of Udogie. In just 2 changes, and do it that way. But don't make 9 in a cup tie that we have to win.
Yeah, do you know what, Patrick? It almost feels like he set fire to the world with his selection just to show where we are as a squad. This is how it feels. But look, for me, I'm quite angry about it. He's not got the balance, has he, of respecting the fans that have yet again turned up tonight with an expectation. And Jason's right. You dip people in and you take a look, don't you? But it's almost he's just thrown the baby out with the bathwater tonight, hasn't he? And he's nigh admitted it in the comments.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's suicide, literally. Suicidal football, suicidal changes. And yeah, shout out to the crowd. They were fantastic, man. Like, you could hear them singing all night. They were loudest people in the room. They were they're amazing. So to any of the fans that are watching this or listening to this back tomorrow, yeah, well done. You did yourself proud. And I'm sorry that the team was shambolic. It was a crap performance. Even if we won on penalties, it wouldn't have been, we would have felt happy that we went through, but it wasn't a good performance. We didn't create many clear-cut chances. Richarlison, I like the kid. I wasn't his biggest fan, but obviously once he puts the shirt on, I'll back him and be behind him. But questions need to be asked now. He's had a good run out and he's not really looking like the guy that is going to bag us 15 to 20. And I'm really worried if we don't get in another good striker. Brennan Johnson, is he the answer? I don't know. That one, again, I know the jury's out on that. Mixed signals or mixed reactions from people that I speak to. I don't know, man. There's just a lot of question marks still here. But to be fair, this squad, we've known these players that are not performing for so long now. I don't really understand why Big Ange had to throw away a decent chance or a cup run to understand it himself. Surely he would know that. He's a football man. He knows football. He's seen us and knows it's suicidal for me. And I'm just, really frustrated because, there's no gimmies in football. Who's to say that we wouldn't have got Man City in the next round? But you don't throw away a game like that, personally, in my opinion. Yeah. That game was thrown away with that squad selection. That's all I can say.
Lee, for you, those comments from Ange, I mean,
they don't sound
they're pretty honest, aren't they? He's nigh on just said, look, I've just shown you what we've got and it's not good enough. He has literally said that, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, but again, it doesn't feel like that's him saying it. Do you know what I mean? Like, there was a few people putting him in the comments. It feels like that was saying that Conte would say. Like, that don't feel like Ange. Like, it feels feels like Ange would have come out and said something. Well, he did come out and say what he said, right? But it felt like it feels like he should come out and say something like, "This one's on me, guys. You know, I thought I picked the right team. I thought we were going to be good enough. You know, we weren't quite ready, and that's on me." And that would have been a bit more authentic to what he was saying. But it feels like he's kind of throwing some of the players under the bus, and probably rightly so. But you know, it has to be on the manager to pick the team. He's made a big thing about, I'm the one that's choosing the players that are coming in. I'm the one that wanted James Maddison, and you know, I'm the one that has picked Solomon. I'm the one that got these players in the door. So then when you're playing the fringe players, you've got to be comfortable with the fact that, look, maybe he did. Maybe he was comfortable. Maybe he thought that Davinson Sanchez, given the fact that he played alongside Micky van der Ven, let's have it right, for basically the whole of the Brentford match, maybe he thought he could do all right there. And, you know, given the fact that Emerson Royal played alongside Davinson Sanchez basically for the whole of the Brentford match, and, you know, maybe he thought he could do all right there. So actually, you know, when that back line come up, I don't get the goalkeeper. I've already talked about it. I don't get the goalkeeper one. Ben Davies, he trusts Ben, and we already know from pre-season that he talked about that he was going to be the understudy. And the doggy has had a knock. Like, I'm not sure how bad that knock is, but you can understand, like, when you're rationally going through, you can understand why he probably pick them players. Up top, I'm pleased, and I'm glad that he picked Richie, because he needed to get that goal, and he's got that now. So hopefully he can try and kick on. I absolutely agree with him picking Solomon, because he ain't done anything, and Solomon's come on, had a couple of cameos. It's against his old club. You'd be expecting him to go out there and really want to go. So, you know, I kind of agree with that one. And Perisic, no one said a bad word about Perisic this season, because actually he's been really good when he's come on as cameos. So the core thing, and we've already talked about it, so I won't go over old ground, the core thing is that midfield. We got ruined in that midfield. Polina, by the way, he looks like a player that we should be going after. Do you know what I mean? He looks good. He did against Arsenal as well. So you look at that midfield for him, that for me was the biggest problem. There's no progression. There's, as Pat nailed it earlier, there's no progressive passes. There's no drop on his shoulder. There's no ball running and turning on the half turn. None of that happened whatsoever. And that's on the midfield three. So that would be my dissection of it. But it's just so frustrating, isn't it, lads? Viewers and listeners. Just
madly.
And to even be a little bit harsh on Scarlett, but when he comes on, I think you want a young kid to do well, and you know, just particularly as a striker and things, and don't put too much demands. But he looked to be ball watching for a lot, and rather than on the move, it was kind of, oh, there's the ball, I'll go after it. Physically, he didn't look anywhere near, which we probably know anyway. But you just looked at Dane Scarlett and thought, you've got to get out on loan, boy. We can't be having you here for another season. And maybe that's a little bit harsh. And I'm certainly not blaming him for the defeat, like for any of it. But you just thought, if that's our backup striker, Struth alive, you know.
It's very, very. This is a very weird moment in the show, because we spoke about 10 minutes ago regarding that third kit and the struggles to see each other and the Man U game. And somebody has actually asked Ange Postecoglou. Now, it would seem like this has probably come from somewhere. Did those players struggle to see each other tonight? Now, somebody's obviously in the ground, and somebody's asked Postecoglou in the press conference that he's done if that was the case. And he said, I don't know. So, look, I don't want to start getting into the X-Files and putting on tinfoil hats. But is there something afoot here with that kit? Because, as I said, when I watched it on the TV, it just never looked right. Players never stood out. I struggled to pick players out who was who in that kit. So that's a weird one, but somebody should actually ask that directly. Lee, do you think this could be something that's like that we've joked about almost 10 minutes ago, but now might actually be something in this?
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. To be fair, I mean, I'd like to see hear what Ange Postecoglou says about it. To be honest, so let's see what the shirt sales were. I think somebody put in the comments 20 minutes ago there's 70% off the new third kit, and it's not even launched yet.
Well, listen,
off on Friday.
You can't say we don't discuss everything on this show. At least we try and bring you everything. But that is something that Ange has actually taken a question on and has fielded that question and replied to it. So yeah, we just bring you everything that's coming across like Tottenham and the news and the questions being asked and oh, I don't know. Jace, you're a fashion expert. What do you... I kid.
Please, if anyone's going down that excuse route of blaming the kit, please don't go down that route. Just accept the fact we had 9 crap players who weren't good enough, and that's why we've got knocked out.
I think that's probably where it is, to be honest. Patrick, the window slams shut on, where are we now? Tuesday? Is it Friday, isn't it? I believe it is Friday at 11 p.m. Jason dancing a merry dance. I'm sure you'll be glued to Sky Sports News.
Oh,
and the
I won't have to see
show.
Armour Chef anymore for months with the crap that he comes out with. Oh, blimey, when's he on this week?
I know. I was going to say, Query's been on the show.
Sorry, Rick, I've just ruined your next guest.
Jay, so before I go to Patrick and ask him about the players that we maybe should be looking to bring in, do you think that there is any more ways that the TalkSport, Sky Sports News can actually say, are looking at, taking interest in, have noted? I mean, how many different ways?
Fascinated.
Fascinated, yeah, are tracking. It is honestly the language around transfers is just I'm just allowing you to vent a little bit, Jace. The floor's yours on transfers and the news, the circus around the news.
It's just non-stop, isn't it? Just like I said to you in the week, just show me the shirt. I don't need silly videos when they sign. I mean, Burnley doing something about Barbie and Ken last. Just hold the shirt up. I don't need fancy videos. Just get on with it. Let them play a game. Then I'll make my decision. But honestly, and tomorrow morning you watch the discussion going to be, does Heung-min Son need to leave to win a trophy? It'll all start again. Yeah. It's all going to start again, isn't it?
Somebody in the comments just said Tottenham have passed a note to somebody. Perhaps they can tick it. Do you fancy me? Yes or no to come to that. I think that's the next stage, isn't it? Like being back at school. But Patrick, I'll ask you first, with the window coming up to the closure on Friday evening, where would you strengthen? Who would you like to see coming in? Just to try and make sure. Yeah. But when we do have League Cup changes, we've got half a chance in it.
Exactly. I feel that as a club, we've been way too soft and we've pandered to players' needs. And I understand there is a human element and we can't be ruthless in the sense of being cutthroat, but we need to be. Like people like Eric Dyer have been said, literally, you're not in our plans. Go and find first team football somewhere else. And he's like, I'll stay. I'm happy to fight for my place, essentially, and I'll leave on my own terms. Get him out. Because all I keep hearing now is that we need to trim the squad before we can bring in players because we've got a bloated squad. We're literally 2 or 3 days away, and we knew this 2 or 3 months ago. So now we're literally in a position none of us wanted to be in, but we all kind of knew we would be in. So Dyer needs to go. Ben Davis, for me, he will go, but it looks like he's going to be trusted. Fair enough if he's there. But I mean, yeah, Dyer, Højbjerg look disinterested. He's not good enough. He needs to go. We need a good striker. You know, we've looked at like Colin Moani, Jonathan David, Ollie Watkins, Ivan Toney, Gift Orban. These kind of players. Those are the kind of strikers that we need to be playing up top with Richarlison or giving Richarlison a bit of competition so that he knows. And it gives us that bit of flexibility and we can move people around. Maybe Richie on the left, maybe Son through the middle, maybe this guy, that guy, and switch it up so we're not so predictable. We need a much better CM/8/6. So like Basuma and Sarr were going to AFCON, or what if one of them gets a knock? then we're back to where we are today with players that just pass sideways and backwards. And we need another good centre-back. We've been screaming for another one all window. 𝐻𝐻, that's gone completely dead in the water. We're looking at the guy from Fulham, Tosin, Adebayo. I don't know. There's a lot of good centre-backs out there, but we need another one because Davinson Sanchez shouldn't be getting as much minutes as he's getting right now. So for me, those are the three that I would change if I could. And we need to hurry up, man. The windows, 𝐷𝐸 Fati. The thing about 𝐷𝐸 Fati is he's a good young player. I'm not going to say the last bit of that.
For those of you listening on audio, there was a comment just came up on the screen. We won't be repeating it. But if you go to YouTube, I'm sure you will see it at just over the hour mark.
He's wrong because we've already got Ndombele, isn't that his name?
Ndombele as well. He's another guy. That's a Jason. I forgot about him because he's not played. Jed Spencer's gone, so fair enough. And Ndombele needs to go as well because he's literally not going to play. So what's the point of him being here? We need to trim the squad.
Patrick, I built a team earlier, right? You could have Lloris in goal. These are the people you need to get out.
Yeah,
right?
Lloris as well. I forgot about Lloris.
Yeah, exactly. Lloris in goal. Joe Rodon as a centre back. He's gone. Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez. Right, it's three centre backs.
Yeah.
Jed Spence. Sergio Reguilón as your wing backs, right? So we're going to a Conte system. Ndombele and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in centre midfield. And then Danjuma, who's already just gone.
Yeah.
Kane, big crying emoji on that one. Yeah. And Troy Parrott as an example.
There's so many.
We've also got the likes of Alfie Devine that's gone out on loan.
Yeah.
As well as I'm probably missing somebody else in there. Like that's a whole 11. That's a whole 11.
It's too many.
And we've still got them floating about. Like they have to go. And it's 3 days. 3 days now.
Some of the guys were getting linked to, like
Hugo Lloris told him he wanted to go.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
He didn't go on tour to help him move, and he's still here. I mean, how long does Barrett's take to move home?
Exactly. And now they're saying that we might integrate him back into the squad. I'm like, what? Like, that's crazy. Like, only Tottenham would do something like that. He needs to go, honestly. Terminate his contract, get him out of the squad. That's crazy. And like the people that we're getting linked to, like Brennan Johnson and 𝐷𝐸 Fati, they're good young players, but they're not who we need. Like, we don't need another wide player right now. They're good to have, but we need a centre back. And we need a striker. For me, those are the key positions that we need, because if Son gets injured, dare I say, or if Romero gets injured, we are screwed, like absolutely ruined. I do
think there's some context, just quickly on that, Cracks. I do think there is some context. I totally agree with everything the lads are saying tonight, and everyone in the comments as well. But I do think there is some context around what we've seen tonight versus if we get a couple of injuries. If we get a couple of injuries, we're not as bad as what we were today, because we're not going to get 11 injuries, right? Do you know what I mean? But having said that, we still need to make some waves in the transfer market. Like I've been saying all transfer window, we need 3 centre-backs. We've got 1. And even if we do a Tosin Adebayo deal at the end of the transfer window, which could happen still, we're still 1 centre-back short, in my opinion. So 𝐻𝐻, that people were talking about 𝐻𝐻, I know it was either 𝐻𝐻 or Van der Ven. Van der Ven's been brilliant. They scored 2 own goals. I love him already. I've fallen in love with the bloke. I think he's brilliant. He's going to be superb for us. But that doesn't mean to say that we don't need 𝐻𝐻 as well as a Tosin, in my opinion. So, all of a sudden you're rocking up with a Romero, Tosin, 𝐻𝐻 and Van der Ven. That's seriously strong. But what we're going to end up with, or going to have, is we're going to have 2 really strong starters, which is great. And if they, now we've got no cup football until January, it might be okay. But the reality is that we've got 2 strong ones, and then you're worrying about the ones that are backing them up. But it would be seriously unlucky if both our starting centre backs got injured. But the reality is, if they did, Tanganga, by the way, Tanganga is what the other one that we're missing off that list. If they did, we could be going into the Arsenal game, for example, with Sanchez and Dyer as our starting centre backs, or Davis as the left-sided and Sanchez as the right-sided. That could actually happen.
Thanks for cheering us up, Lee.
But I mean, come
Oh,
on, man. That's not going to happen, but it could.
No,
that's
I
the
know.
problem, isn't it? That is the problem.
I know. Just to try and give like some balance and fairness after tonight's absolute clown's car on fire performance. Jace, do we have to really accept that this isn't a 1 or 2 window job, and this is the potholes that we spoke about that will be in the road? Yes, of course, the 9 changes didn't help that, but as we've already discussed this evening, we are only 2 or 3 injuries away from looking a very, very different side. So have we as fans maybe got to try and suck it up a little bit versus and balanced against the money being there, and it is there with the club to bring those players in, even in these last 2 or 3 days?
I think we all know that you couldn't do it in 1 or 2 windows, because, you know, famously 2 years ago, I think I said we needed 17 in, and I've just looked at that team. There's 10 there that wouldn't bother me, and there's still more like Dyers and Tangangas and that as you're rightly, that aren't on that list.
Exactly.
So of course, we weren't going to do 11 players in and 11 players out in 1 window. But, you know, from Vicario signed a long time ago. Solomon came on a free pretty much when it was announced. You know, other than Van der Ven, in the last more or less 2 months, what have we actually done? You know, it's that constant sitting there seemingly doing nothing. I mean, whatever people think of Brennan Johnson, I really want us to go and get Brennan Johnson. I said it way into the group last year that I like him. I think he's got that touch of Delhi about him. I like it. But why are we on, you know, August the 29th or whatever, still trying to work out if we can do that? Why? Should have been going into Forest in July to do the deal. Not now. Yeah. Not now. There's no excuse. And you're right. We know we've needed centre-backs all window. It's been obvious now that he doesn't fancy Dyer. He doesn't fancy Tanganga. And yet we're still here without seemingly looking like we won't sign one this week. Only if we get rid of players. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. We got rid of 1 player this year, didn't we? Yeah. You know, the one that we didn't want to get rid of, we got rid of.
Yeah, no, they are absolutely going to have to bite the bullet, aren't they? And as we've discussed this evening, maybe cancel some contracts, take a bit of a hit, get people paid off, get people out, and really start to get exactly on the screen now. Bob Dwyer says Brian Hill as well. What's going on with Brian Hill?
There's so many, man.
Is he coming into the squad? Is he out of the squad? There is just so much that needs trimming out. But look, we're going to take the second break of the show for those of you on audio. And as I don't host this, Ricky's probably going to put an interview in there with Michael McIntyre or a preview for next weekend. I've got no clue what's going on. Ricky's on a plane somewhere. No, I don't even think I think he had his flight cancelled, didn't he?
Poor old Rick.
Man,
I mean,
yes.
Let's be honest.
What a
if
shocker.
we think we've had a
Ricky's
bad day, think of poor Ricky, who should have flown out to Cyprus today for his holiday.
Yeah.
There he is, still stuck at Heathrow, looking for a hotel, looking for a flight, trying to then think, no, I've got to get a taxi home for 150 quid or whatever. I mean, poor boy. And all his one bit of relief would have been trying to listen to the football tonight, and he's had to listen to that.
Honestly, and he is the world's nicest man. He's the world's
always one worse
hardest
than us,
working man, and he's had all this today at the airport with being cancelled, and then Tottenham going out the cup this evening. So, but look, Rick, we're sending you loads and loads of love. So, as I say, we've gone to the break. Just a little reminder. You can find us across all the socials. I'm looking at Lee desperately here because, like, you know, I'm a man in my 50s. There's a new social media site coming up every day. We are on Facebook, X. Yes, I got that right. X, Twitter.
Oh, it's X now, yeah.
It's X now, isn't it?
Facebook,
Are we on TikTok?
Mums,
Jace,
you said mums.
Jace, are we on TikTok? I know we're
I'll
on
have a look at the
Mumsnet.
clock, mate.
We're
The clock
on
says
Mumsnet as well. This
Instagram.
pod's being released next week as a limited edition 12-inch vinyl being remixed by Cole Cox and apparently Fabio and Groove Rider. So yeah, it comes out on cassette single as well. And we're available to download on Apple, iTunes.
Yes.
Look at this. Look at the old man
Spotify.
absolutely drowning
Spotify.
on
Spotify in there.
Spotify. Oh, we are on
Yeah.
Spotify because we're top of the league, aren't we? On now.
Are. But actually, that's what
so-
I wanted to just quickly talk about that if I could. Quick plug. So the Football Content Awards.
Floor's yours, Lee. Floor's yours.
So a bit of nominations for the Football Content Awards. They are open. You can scan the QR code if you see fit, or you can simply tweet or X. Can you X now or you post? I don't know what you do, but I'm voting for at FAC's FCA, for Al Arsenal Spurs, the best podcast in the Premier League. Please get voting on that. Shameless plug for us lot, but do it for, if you don't do it for anyone else, do it for Ricky tonight, because as what Jace just said, he's an absolute mare. Hopefully he gets out on holiday tomorrow as well. But yeah, that's find all your votes. And actually, look, there's over nearly 1,500 of you still watching live past 11 o'clock. Absolutely fantastic. The support of the show is, excuse me, so unbelievable. It's just brilliant. Thank you so much. I know that the main man's not here tonight, but hit the like button. Can you do that as well? Hit the like button and subscribe. He hates me plugging this stuff, but why he's not here? We can plug.
And just a genuine appeal. I mean, if anyone lives near Heathrow, can they pop down with a sleeping bag and a pillow for the poor bloke, because he's facing a backbreaker on the floor, isn't he?
Oh,
honestly, you would think that given that he's going for 2 weeks on Joe Lewis's boat, he would have actually sent his private plane for him, wouldn't he? Oh no, that's right. I don't think he's allowed to take that anywhere at the moment, is he? But anyway, off we go. Look, I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm not gonna do too long. Jace is absolutely cock a hoop with that decision. Forward, onwards onto the weekend. I think we've given them enough of a kicking now. It's not good enough, Ange. It's not good enough, Tottenham. That's just not acceptable, is it? But we go to the weekend and we'll see. I'm sure we will see a very, very different team. Lee, for you, the weekend and what that could bring us.
Well, look. I said about Bournemouth and I said about Burnley. I don't want to jinx it or anything like that, but I don't think they're a very, very good side. I think Bournemouth pressed us quite nicely, which was pretty good. But I think that we beat that press pretty well, and we done pretty well against Bournemouth. People will say that under who, by the way, we all like him here. We know that he's a good manager, Vincent Kompany, but they've struggled. They've played only 2 games because their game against Luton got postponed, so they might have got 3 points there. They've played 2, they've lost 2, and they've struggled. They've struggled with shots on target. They've struggled with the relentlessness that is the Premier League. Now, granted, they did play Man City for crying out loud as well, in of course one of them games. But I think we should. Well, it's a difficult one, isn't it, now? Because I was about to say, I think we should go there full of confidence because we've been brilliant. We've been on the front foot. We've been attacking. We've been fantastic, creating chances left, right and centre. And then we've seen this dross tonight. So it's definitely going to put a little bit of a dent in where we are. Hopefully, the players that get picked on the weekend will say, look, boys, this is how you do it, and show us how to do it. I don't think going up to Burnley is as what it used to be, a cold, wet and windy day in Burnley. Can you do it up there? I don't think it's that anymore. Because
it was the last time I went, Lee.
Well,
don't worry about that.
Yeah,
I went up there when we got dicked 1-0 on about the 85th minute when Conte was in charge. Oh, man. That's the only stadium where I walked uphill from the station to the stadium and then walked uphill again from the stadium to the station. I walked uphill twice. And I ended up at the same station. Honestly, it's like an MC Escher painting that town. It really is. I don't know how I done that.
Well, I just think that now with under Kompany and what he's doing there, he's doing to them what Ange, I suppose, is doing to us. He's not taking them, he's taken them out of what they used to play as long ball, kind of low block stuff. We don't do that anymore. And Burnley are not known for that. So it'd be high energy. The crowd would be raucous, normal. You know, I think we've got to go out there and we've got to put tonight. You can't put tonight right because it's a cup competition. We're done. But we've got to go and show the fans that us fans that we do mean business and that we bounce back. And I fully expect us, if I'm right and we're right about Ange Postecoglou and what he's doing, we will bounce back and we will get the 3 points.
Absolutely. Patrick, for you this coming weekend, we've got to get that out of our system and quick, haven't we?
Yeah, draw a line under the sand or in the sand, like Lee said. Put the first 11. We know what the first 11 is. Go out there full of energy with a point to prove and just blow them away, man. Like, do what we normally do. Play good attacking football with intent. Move the ball around. Get Vicario into the game, spraying passes. Get Sonny taking on his man. Richarlison hopefully making some good runs and being spotted. 𝐂𝐲𝐬𝐭𝐬𝐧𝐭 being dangerous on the wing. Bissouma and Sarr just being their dynamic, excellent selves in the middle of the park. Romero breaking up play, Van de Ven doing the same, and we just give them everything and just blow them away. Vincent Kompany, the thing is, I've watched Burnley and I don't think the quality of the players is there, but you can see what Vincent Kompany's trying to do. So they're not the same Burnley that, like Lee said, that we used to think of and play against. They're going to be there for the taking. They'll be dangerous. They'll be expansive. They'll try and play out from the back. We need to play on that, catch them. And it's a good game to bounce back at. Let's put it that way. It's a good game for us to really lay a marker down. And, people are going to be laughing at us and sniggering at us. Ha, 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 you guys thought you were back, all of that crap. Let's just make people remember that we are still a decent team and we're still a threat. And it was just a blip. I just... A bit disappointing, but people like Højbjerg, 𝐂𝐨𝐴𝐨𝐿, if you don't want to be here, just go. Eric Dyer. And that just means us being ruthless. If we have to take a bit of a hit on them, get them out, man. We don't need people like that who then, when they do play, they just play like they're not asked. That's what I saw today. Højbjerg, 𝐂𝐴𝐴𝐿, they just didn't give a fuck, if I'm being honest. And it showed, and it's poor. And that's not what we need right now. So, we're trying to start a new era. We're trying to start a new regime. We're trying to start a new mentality. And today, I think that's what was most disappointing, is that I saw so much of the old team there. I saw so much of the Conte and the Jose team. And like Lee said earlier, we thought we was away from that. But today was kind of like a reality check almost. Like, damn, some of these guys are still here and they're still doing the same crap.
Just as you think you're out, they drag you back in, isn't it? to quote the film. Jace, for you, Saturday, obviously we've now got to wait till January before we start in the FA Cup, and we go on to win that, of course. Probably our only chance of
10 changes,
with 10 changes, Oh man, I think if anything, he will have learned his lesson from tonight with changes. But you'd hope, wouldn't you? Saturday, back to the normal starting 11, and can you see us getting a result there?
I can, because I think Burnley, despite the differences in football, the lack of quality, as Patrick says, probably isn't there at the moment. And I think you've seen that. Villa were very comfortable up there. And so it's one of those where if we're at it, we should go there and dominate the game and win the game. But you have to be at it, and you have to take your chances. And we always know that one of those goalkeepers has these blinders against us, don't they? When they make 15 saves or something, and the deflection goes in at the other end. So you can't be guaranteed a win at Burnley, but we should be able to go to Burnley and win the game.
Tim Krul effect, Jason, I think it's known as.
Tim Krul,
what a band they were.
Remember Boaz Mail?
Oh, man, now you're talking,
Having the hair, Wembley, 11 shots on target. And they beat us 1-0, Man United. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So, that can happen. But, I mean, in general, I think it should be... I'd like to see us actually play better than we did at Bournemouth, because for a little time in that game, we lost control of it and got a little bit scrappy, and we weren't at our best. But so I'd hope for a better all-round performance than the one at Bournemouth. But we should still be capable of going to Burnley and winning the game. But, we should have been capable of going to Fulham and winning with a proper team. I just hope Van der Ven,
he's on a hat-trick.
quite heavily at the end. he was quite heavy. He was limping quite heavily.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah, that is a real worry. Yeah, there's a few people. Thank you for putting in the comments. Was saying that he looked like he was limping. So, but look, so was Maddison as well last weekend, and he was in a boot, and then all of a sudden he's back. So let's see. Look, I'm going to wrap it up now. I'm no Ricky Sacks. Nobody is, Lee, are they? Go on.
No. But just quickly before you, I know you want to wrap up, and I know you're going to be conscious of time, and we ain't talked about a lockpick or anything. We've got any more in there? bingo.
I'm a bingo card.
I know. Yeah. Just quickly, I have to be honest, right, and say that I don't think we've created as many chances as I thought we would. Like in the 4 games that we've played. I don't think we had 6 shots on target against Brentford, 6 shots on target against United, and 6 shots on target against Bournemouth. I actually even checked the stats today because I'm so peeved with it. But I reckon it's probably, I don't know if anyone's got it, it's probably about the same. I updated the blue book. And I thought we was going to be in a situation where we're creating kind of 9, 10, 11 shots on target each. We had 3 on target today, Pat, did we? I mean, that's shocking. That's absolutely shocking. So I actually think that's quite disappointing. When we talk about Ange Postecoglou, the front foot, the attacking football, and where we are, I was expecting us to have more attempts at goal. And I saw it against, we've all seen it. We've seen it against the 4 games that we've had. We're not having enough shots. Like, what is happening? Sonny's getting into a position where he just needs to ping it top bins. Same with Decky. Both of them are not doing it. But Richarlison's falling over his own feet sometimes. I know it's a confidence thing or whatever with him. And again, I think, just coming into that midfield, like Lo Celso tonight, having a scenario, drop a shoulder, ping one in, test the goalkeeper. We didn't have a shot on target tonight until I think it was like the 25th minute. And it was also similar at Bournemouth as well, but not as long, obviously, because we scored. But first 5-8 minutes or whatever, you want to be peppering their goal. And that's the biggest, I'm going to use this word, it's quite a strong word, and people who know will know when I say it, but that's been the most disappointing thing with Ange Ball, is that we're riding on this wave, but actually we haven't created that many chances. And one thing's for sure, and I don't want to keep going back to Kane, but one thing's for sure, things with Kane used to have at least 3, 4, 5 shots a game when he was getting his goals. He would shoot. And I just don't think that we're quite there. And that's maybe why we still haven't clicked yet, even in the first 11, which is something to look forward to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So anyway, Patrick, thank you for joining us this evening. Hope you had a great holiday. Ruined by Spurs coming back.
Yeah.
How many times over the years have we said that? So tell everybody where we can find you and what you're up to, please.
So you can find me. Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me on again. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for all the people tuning in and commenting and making the show more entertaining. And we're bouncing off you guys in your comments and your feedback and stats and everything like that. But I'm on Twitter. Or X, as they call it now, at Patrick Tyrant, Instagram as well. But yeah, follow me on Twitter if you want to see what I'm up to. But I'm on a lot of Last Word on Spurs shows this week because we've got a lot going on, dare I say, hopefully with the transfer window closing and all of that stuff. So yeah, you'll catch me on Last Word on Spurs and you can catch me on Twitter. So yeah.
Excellent stuff. Jace, thank you once again for bringing us some wise words and a little bit of a calm and reasoning and same old, isn't it? For us boys that have been going since the mid-70s.
Yeah, seen it all before. But at least Patrick's had a better holiday than Ricky has.
You know what? I was lucky with that, to be fair, because as I was yesterday when we came back today and we were getting the updates that a lot of flights have been cancelled, but luckily we missed the bad part of it yesterday and I flew into Stansted, so I didn't get the Gatwick and Heathrow madness. So I was quite lucky. I lucked up.
All right, good stuff. That's all good. Managed to fly in through the gaps. Good stuff. Lee, where are you in the world at the moment? Because you're never at home. Where are you? Azerbaijan, Australia?
That's a clue there. Look, what's that a picture of?
I was going to say, it looks like he's under a horse's dick at the moment.
Well, I am still in España. I am still in Spain, so not a
Jason,
million miles
I
away
have
from
been
you,
1 hour and 20 minutes wanting to say that and stop myself because I'm hosting tonight, and you've just absolutely gone in 2-footed and just said it. Well done.
Oh,
Well done.
okay.
You're still in Spain, Lee. Oh,
Yeah,
I'd love
not
to
million
go
miles
to
away from
Spain
you,
one
mate,
day.
but,
I'd
yes,
love to go there.
Still over here, mate. Still over here. It's been great working this week. Trying to get a bit of downtime before we go home. We're back in the UK from Sunday, so it's going to be another mad week. And obviously, we've got loads of shows going on this week. Patrick, you just alluded to as well. We've got I think a show every single day this week. We've got a big transfer show as well that's happening. We might have an extra bonus transfer show if I can get Jason to nip on it. As well. Actually, we could just talk. Put this one on. Crackers there. Won't blame Ange. Ange is so honest. I'd expect this. He has to see for himself the true level of most of these players, and that's from is it AI Ben or Al Ben? AI, I think that is Ben. So thanks for the contribution, AI Ben. And like Cracker said, the contribution from everyone tonight has been absolutely phenomenal. So again, thank you all again.
Excellent stuff. So look, let me just leave you with some final thoughts. And we do still love you generally, maybe not everybody, but I can only speak for myself and the general consensus. But look, we love our cups at Tottenham. We love to take it seriously. We love to go deep in cup competitions. So come January and the FA Cup comes round with no Europe, we will be fully expecting a better team and a better performance than that tonight. So, look, little reality check. And to the club, look, you've seen what you've got as a second string tonight, and it's just simply not good enough. The money's there. We really, really want you to go out and just bring in and get out some players and start this much needed rebuild. So I've sounded like Jerry Springer, ain't I? With his final thoughts now. Take care of yourself and each other,
And each
as
other.
I used to say. All right.
Oh, God bless Jerry. God bless Jerry, mate.
Listen, thank you, everybody. There's been some lovely comments in the in down the side of the screen this evening, and a few people saying that they feel a little bit happier than an hour and a half ago. So look, that's where you want to be, isn't it? So thank you, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, we've got some transfer shows coming up. Jason's hosting those. He'll be right across them. He'll be in the Sky Sports studio, the Sky Sports News studio. He'll be in there giving his thoughts. No, he won't.
I'm actually on Sky Sports News tomorrow morning. Don't give it too much, Jace. For crying out loud. They'll be phoning me, taking me off.
It'll be nice to see Bridgie, mate, but keep away from Shetham ready, for God's sake.
Look, everyone, I'm conscious of the time, okay? We've done nearly an hour and a half and it's 11:30. Patrick's jet lagged. We all want to go to bed. So look, keep safe, keep well. Thank you, everybody, once again for tuning in. And as always, come on, you Spurs.